Can anyone on this show keep a secret anymore? As How to Get Away with Murder approaches its winter finale, the list of need-to-knows is only expanding as the Keating kids are forced to divulge their plan to Asher and pray to Vera Wang that he won't tell anyone important. Asher's already been feeling resentful that he's still unemployed while his girlfriend enjoys a cushy internship with a dream boss, so the fact that he's been excluded from the latest round of nefariousness gives him a case of sour grapes that could cost Laurel her chance at vengeance. But of course it doesn't. Asher is a sucker for the action just as much as the rest of them. And you can tell he's just raring to try his luck again as soon as the very metaphorical ketchup hits the expensive, pristine wedding dress, clearly more symbolic of her shiny new career status than her phony former engagement. He's here for the show just like anyone. And so is Isaac, for that matter. Here's what we learned this time around. Laurel's willing to try amid all the brouhaha over whether Asher is going to cave and cooperate with the group or spill the beans and implicate them all. We get a subplot about what's happening with Laurel and Frank. For those fans who've been feeling their heat since the beginning of the series, well, things are looking up. Frank is brought into the loop of her plan, and Laurel gives it to him as squarely as she possibly can and says, in so many words, this is happening with or without your help, and if you bail here, don't bother anywhere else. That's enough for Frank. His morals have always been flimsy anyway. And besides, if she bankrupts her pop's company, he's still got that suitcase full of cash Annalise doesn't want, and it's baby money to boot. In trade, Laurel is not only willing to give Frank a chance to be more than just her knock-boots buddy, she's also willing, at long last, to do a DNA test to find out if baby Castillo is his or Wes. Either way, he seems to want to be around for the long haul, and if we know anything about Frank, it's that he doesn't let people go easily. Just ask Annalise. Speaking of which, Annalise always wins. Anyone who watches this show with the hope that there'll be even a sliver of professional ethics should know better by now, so it's probably no surprise that the field of psychology is also compromised. Exhibit A. Isaac's ex-wife breaks his confidentiality, violating the privacy of her client, who should really be her client anyway, right, to inform Annalise that she's a trigger for his addiction because his teenage daughter ended her life a few years ago. She insists Annalise is inadvertently stirring up all this history and pain within him, and she must walk away to avoid his own relapse. Annalise seems to oblige, although she may sniff a whiff of jealousy emanating from this woman right now, and gives him notice that she's seeking treatment elsewhere. Exhibit B. Even though he should have removed himself from her care as soon as he realized Bonnie was double-crossing everyone, Isaac is befuddled that Annalise would dare leave him. She'll relapse. She'll fail. The world will crumble as we know it. But then, when he's put on the stand to testify as to her ability to remain sober while chairing a class action lawsuit, as part of the Attorney General's petition to circumvent certification of the case, well, he caves. She's 100% committed to sobriety. He testifies he's never doubted her for 1 second, and how dare this guy even ask? This was all Bonnie's idea, by the way, because the can of worms is just smeared on that courtroom floor. But despite an effort to frame Annalise as having fallen off the wagon by way of a staged photograph, she's picking up a whiskey bottle off of her car and throwing it away. The Attorney General just has no idea how deep he's in right now. Not only is Annalise better at the foul play game than anyone, convincing a district attorney to have his secretary perjure herself is child's play for a son, but people just seem to wilt into nefariousness at her will. It's Annalise's world, and everyone else is just living and dying in it. Among those, recap continues on page 2.